This is a map of John H Shary Elementary. Shary Elementary is a pre-K through 6th grade campus located in the heart of Sharyland Independent School District. We are very proud of our school, its accomplishments, and the history behind the name of our school. John H Shary is a 2011 TEA exemplary school, and it has been awarded the Monitor's Reader's Choice Award in 2010 and 2011. My mentor teacher, Mrs. Guerra, has been teaching for 23 years. She is currently teaching 5th grade and has been for 7 years. She taught 2nd grade for 12 years and kinder for 4 years, so she has a lot of experience and knows what she is doing in the classroom. Mrs. Guerra became a teacher because it is a family-oriented career, and her sisters and father were also involved with the education system. Her desk is located right by the entrance where she can see all the students. She never really sits in it unless she is recording grades in her electronic gradebook. There are cubby holes that serve as open mini lockers inside the classroom that are only available for her homeroom students. Mrs. Guerra's classroom seems more spacious than others I have seen in the past, but this may be because the students' desks are situated in groups of 5 or 6 so that they can work in small groups when needed. Mrs. Guerra does not have learning centers in her classroom, but she does have a few computers available for the students to use for research or last-minute fixes on presentations during their free time. The desks are positioned so that all the students can see the blackboard and the screen. The fact that children all have a clear view of the blackboard and how their desks are grouped makes her classroom more conducive to learning. All of the lessons I observed in Mrs. Guerra's were very effective and well presented. Mrs. Guerra teaches science, social studies, and spelling. To me, the best lesson plan was the science one over the behaviors of light. She gained the students' attention by playing a video from the website framepop.com and explicitly stated the objectives for the day. Mrs. Guerra follows the 5E model, which as far as the presentation of the lesson plan, Mrs. Guerra follows the 5E model, which follows the sequence engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. The students were able to explore by completing activities at the lab station. When they were finished, they went back to the classrooms and explained what they learned to others in their group. They elaborated on what they learned by making real-life connections. Then Ms. Guerra evaluated them by assessing and grading them on the notes they wrote in their science journals. As far as routines go, every Monday, Mrs. Guerra has the students write down the weekly assignments in their planners and passes out the list of the week's spelling words. She gives the students 10 minutes to look over the words and get familiarized with the new words. Ms. Guerra uses a timer on a regular basis to ensure that the students do not get off task. This also prepares them for the STAR test because it is timed. The students are to turn in assignments in the beginning of the class and throughout the day as they complete assignments in their assigned basket inside an extra cubbyhole. After spelling, Mrs. Guerra starts on the science lesson plan. The science lesson plan starts at 8:15 and runs for 45 minutes. The teacher has students take notes in their science journal and sometimes has them make folders. Social studies is also 45 minutes. Spelling is 10 minutes. Science is 45 minutes. Then the students break for recess and lunch. Lunch is at 11:30 and ends at 12:45. classroom rules, students know what is expected of them, and if they don't act accordingly, they get points docked off their citizenship grade at the end of the 6 weeks on their report card. Mrs. Guerra keeps track of conduct by keeping a binder with the students' names in it. Reasons for having points deducted include no homework, planner not signed, misbehaving, and not bringing materials to class. Fighting as grounds for referral. The teacher's reaction to disruptive behavior is calm. She is assertive, firm, strict, and she never has to yell at her classroom. She simply changes her intonation of voice. At times, she takes away privileges such as no recess or no PE. If students don't have homework, they have to wear a tag that says, "I owe my teacher homework," and they have to eat lunch in the cafeteria in an isolated table reserved for students who don't turn in their assignments and misbehave, or they have to stay after school and finish their work. Now I would like to talk about 3 of the students that I had the opportunity to observe during my field hours. The first is Nathan. He is quiet, shy, and very well behaved. He looked like a high performer, but in reality his academic performance is average. His greatest accomplishments is when he scored high on a benchmark. Derek, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. He is very loud, constantly misbehaves, and is out of his chair, and he is very talkative. I learned that Derek has ADHD. His academic performance is below average, but he is a very sweet little boy. He is athletic and helpful. When I asked him what is his most challenging moment, he said that it is trying to control himself. His most rewarding moment is when he met his AR goal. The next student is Michelle. She is the most memorable because on my first day she was eager to tell me about herself. She told me she wants to attend Baylor University. That stood out to me because it showed me that she cares and has long-term goals, which is very surprising for a 10-year-old. During my field hours, I knew for a fact that this is really the career for me. I loved working with Ms. Guerra and the other teachers, and most of all, I really enjoyed getting to know and work with all the kids. It wasn't all peaches and cream, but I enjoyed every minute of it. The climate at John H Shary Elementary is very warm and friendly. I attribute the climate to the principal's attitudes and friendly smiles, other staff members, and the students there. I guess it also has to do something with the fact that I grew up in a neighborhood located very close to school, so it brings back cozy memories